Okay, I would like to welcome Northwest COG and Emily Hawkins and
Jean Huggins.
Jeannie. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and start this presentation, and I'm going to run the presentation while they tell us all about the weatherization programs that are offered through here. I just have to preface this presentation with how much we appreciate you all. Last year, they did over 30 homes in Clear Creek County. And you even, Jeannie, have had your own home looked at. And so it's a great service. And thank you all for what you do. So Emily, I'll let you take this over.
Awesome. Sally, thank you so much for having us here.
You betcha.
Yeah, my name is Emily. I work for Northwest Colorado Council of Governments Energy Program. I'm here with my coworker, Jean Huggins. And we're going to talk about a couple of programs that we have available to Clear Creek County residents as of right now. So I'm going to throw a lot of information out to you all tonight, and bear with me. We'll have time I will have no problem with answering questions at the end. There's also a slide at the very end that has our contact information. If you don't think of questions tonight, you can reach out to us anytime. Jean will be answering our main line for the most part for the coming weeks. And we're here to help. So we are here to answer questions and figure out how to help as many folks as we can in Clear Creek County. So yeah, we are a weatherization agency for the state of Colorado. The Weatherization Assistance Program, the first program I'm going to talk about is statewide. It's actually countrywide, but specifically it's in all 64 counties in Colorado. My agency covers 13 of those counties in Northwest Colorado, which is roughly the size of West Virginia. So that gives you an example of the territory that we cover. Wow. We have 3 different offices. The office closest here is in Silverthorne, so just over the hill from you all. And the Weatherization Assistance Program is possible through our partnership with the Colorado Energy Office. And they're great folks over there. So the goals of the Weatherization Assistance Program, we want to achieve long-term energy reductions. This is not a Band-Aid. This is stuff that's supposed to last for years. We also want to save folks money on their utility bills. Once we reduce their energy usage, that typically translates into cheaper utility bills. So that money can go to, medications, food, stuff that folks really need to have access to instead of shelling out a lot of money for their utility bills. And last but certainly not least, we really want to make sure that everybody's home is comfortable and safe.
Good.
So what is weatherization? Just for anyone who might not be 100% clear, this is a free service that has been proven since the late 70s to decrease energy usage on average from 10 to 30% on their utility bills. I actually have done some case studies and a few homes in Clear Creek County actually where we have actually cut their energy bills in half.
Wow.
So the work we do is proven to work. So that's a fun stat to say. When someone is approved for the program and we get them on our service list, we'll send somebody out to conduct what's called a home energy assessment. And first and foremost, we do health and safety tests on all combustion appliances. Because believe it or not, and this happens a lot, unfortunately, in Clear Creek County, we will catch a lot of gas leaks right off the bat. So we want to fix those first and foremost. We have had a couple of clients complain of headaches. And then once we get in there, do our work, and they imagine, their headaches are gone because they've been unfortunately put at the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. So some serious things that we can catch right off the bat. And then, the energy assessment as a whole helps us identify the most appropriate and cost-effective improvements for the home that we can do through various weatherization measures that I'll get into next. So typical kind of the meat and potatoes of weatherization, a house, if they're lacking attic or floor or wall insulation, we check the efficiency of a furnace. If a furnace is old and energy inefficient, we'll replace that with a new model. We also do repairs if it's something that we can fix as well. Water heater replacements, air sealing is kind of a blanket term for a lot of different air sealing measures that we do, door stoppages, sealing up windows replacements, stuff like that. the smaller items, LED light bulbs, of course, storm windows. If a refrigerator is old and energy inefficient and meets the criteria, we'll replace that with a brand new model. We also do low flow water fixtures, and through the Weatherization Assistance Program, rooftop solar is a possibility depending on if someone's a good candidate. So we'll throw 12 grand worth of solar panels on somebody's roof and essentially try to wipe out their electric bill. And then also recently, within the past 2 or 3 years, air source heat pumps, if you're not familiar with what those are, it's essentially a furnace that also acts as an air conditioning unit in the summertime. So again, your home and heating system have to be good candidates, but those are other energy efficient measures that are eligible through the Weatherization Assistance Program. And who doesn't want air conditioning in the summertime? I
Is that
do.
air source heat pump, is that something that fits into the wall? Is that what it is?
There are a couple of different models of air source heat pump. It depends on if your home is ducted or not ducted. So if somebody has, say, in-floor radiant heat, it's not a ducted system. We install something that's called a mini split, which basically is a wall mount that kind of looks like an AC unit in like commercial buildings and stuff like that. We don't need to get into the
Yeah,
specifics
but
of those,
I'm
but
just, it's nothing like you have to pipe. That's what they look like though. They can look like something.
there's a
like that.
box on the outside, a box on the inside,
Yeah,
essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that's a relatively new development of the program over the last 2 or 3 years. Because they are expensive and not a lot of people know how to put them in. But we do have a heat pump crew within Northwest COG who can do it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And the benefits, I kind of spelled it out earlier. We want to reduce that energy usage. We want to save people money. We want to increase a home's value because it does. We want to improve a home's comfort and safety, keep the home cool in the summer, warm in the winter, especially in those older homes. And you know what? It's free as long as you qualify. And so if your question is, how do you qualify? Do you receive financial assistance, or anybody in your house receives assistance from any of the programs I've listed below? The most common is LEAP, the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, which provides cash assistance to help pay for a home's heating bill. I highly recommend folks signing up for this if they qualify. I have some information on another slide for how to do that. It's a really great program that opens up a lot of other assistance opportunities that they automatically receive access to by being on LEAP. Other programs, the food stamps, which, SNAP, supplemental security income, not to be confused with regular social security income, temporary assistance for needy families, and aid to the needy and disabled. So if anybody in the household receives assistance through any of these programs currently, it has to be a current benefit. They're automatically eligible for the Weatherization Assistance Program. And if someone is wondering how to sign up for those programs, the Clear Creek County Health and Human Services Department should be able to help out with that.
Right.
So.
And then LEAP is open for applications right now.
LEAP, they just opened applications, they just started taking applications as of November 1st. So that is open season on LEAP. So I would get that application in
Right
now. Yeah. So if you don't qualify for one of those programs, you qualify via household income. These are the income guidelines for this current program year. So, and this chart is pretty busy. So just to have as basic as possible. So say you have a household of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids, the combined household income to qualify for this program cannot exceed $71,122. And this is all gross before taxes are removed. So you can kind of do the math. It just depends on how many people are in your household. You do have to include everybody's income who lives in the household.
I'm going to leave this up on the screen for just a minute. And by the way, folks, we can come back to any of these slides when we get to the discussion.
Yeah, and so if anybody is curious, the state goes by a couple of different income guidelines. A household from 1 to 7 is 60% SMI, which stands for state median income. And then if you get into the households of 8 or more, now we're looking at the 200% federal poverty level.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if someone's looks at that chart and said, yes, I fall equal to or below one of those amounts, what do I need to do to prove that I qualify? These are all acceptable forms of documents to provide proof of income. The easiest we found in years past is a copy of a signed income tax return. So if someone was applying for the Weatherization Assistance Program now, they would submit their 2022 tax return. If that's not a possibility, all W-2 forms for the year will be acceptable. You know, I don't want to read all of this word for word, but income check stubs. So it is a lot. The Weatherization Assistance Program requires 3 months or 90 days worth of check stubs, which is why I suggest a tax return, because it's only one document versus multiple. If you can't provide any of those, a letter from your employer would work, stating, you know, what your position is, how much you earn, and how frequently you do get paid. And after all other resources have been kind of, you know, if they can't provide any other proof of income, then some folks are allowed to fill out an income affidavit, basically stating, I can't provide you with this information, this is why, and saying, you know, that this is a true statement, and then they get it notarized, and that would work as well. So, and then if someone's self-employed, that's what they would use as well. Along with providing income documentation, which usually includes a profit and loss statement and some other things. So
For self-employed.
Yeah.
In other housing things that I've done, I've used bank statements. I don't see that in here. You don't accept that.
We don't, because that shows net. That shows the net amount.
Oh,
It doesn't
okay.
include what's before taxes.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. Okay,
That's a good question. We have gotten that a lot.
okay.
So who's eligible to apply for both of the programs that I'm going to talk about? Homeowners and renters. Renters often think that they get excluded from these programs. That is not the case. We really encourage renters to apply. Their landlord or property manager just needs to sign a waiver, say, I give my approval for work to be done here. The most common question we get from landlords is, okay, this seems too good to be true. What's this going to cost me? It's not going to cost landlords a dime.
Mhm.
They can contribute all they want. You know, we're not going to turn down money. We are a nonprofit by any means anyway, but it won't cost landlords anything. Another common question we have from landlords is, well, I want to have approval on all the work you do. That's exactly what they get. We go out, we conduct an energy assessment, which is just an information gathering visit. No work is done unless we catch those health and safety issues. We come back, we run our reports for what quote unquote pays back, which basically tells us what's going to save energy in the home. So if it's, you know, insulation, windows, a new furnace, we call the landlord, say, hey, this is what we want to do. Is this okay? They have the right to refuse some of the measures. We don't recommend that because that's just free work. But they have the right to refuse one or all of the measures and say, hey, I'm good with my energy assessment. Thanks for stopping by. So the landlord has complete control over the situation.
Huh.
Yeah. It used to be someone had to be a documented citizen in the household to apply for the Weatherization Assistance Program. That is no longer the case within the past year.
So proof of citizenship is not required?
Is not required.
Huh, that's new.
That is very new. Yep.
Okay.
What housing structure types are eligible? So we work on pretty much everything under the sun, except for some of the things in my next slide. So single family, so houses, multifamilies, which are your apartments, your condos, townhomes, duplex, triplex, fourplex. Manufactured mobile homes are actually a pretty large percentage of the housing stock that we work on. And we do great work on mobile homes too. So yeah. And these are on the next slide are housing structure types that we don't, which are motorhomes, RVs, barns, sheds. Are off-grid homes eligible? That's a great question. I've gotten that before in Clear Creek County. That's a case-by-case basis. We don't we don't deny anybody based off of that reason alone. We're still going to work through, first and foremost, if they do qualify. We'll kind of get up to that point, and then I can work with one of my energy assessors, and we'll typically try to schedule an energy assessment in the same area or neighborhood of an off-grid home, so he can swing by and basically say, yes, this is a structure we can work on, or no, sorry, this is not a structure we can work on.
So an off-grid home, you can, you have done off-grid homes.
We have, so we recently did, I think, a couple in Clear Creek that were propane heated and off-grid solar. Is that what this Lori, is that what you were asking?
Lori, you go ahead and chime in for this while we're right in the middle of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I live up York Gulch. Our entire community up here is off-grid. We may have people who are eligible. I can think of one person right now and probably would really appreciate the help, but she's not going to have utility bills and things like that. I mean, she might have a propane bill. Most of us up here have a solar system, backup propane, and a well.
Yeah.
But we could have very drafty windows and could really use help just insulating, doing a better job with insulation.
Absolutely.
And is it the CARE program that helps with propane?
So Lori, those homes sound like excellent candidates for the weatherization assistance program, because as I just mentioned, I can think of at least one person off the top of my head in Clear Creek County who was on propane, had off-grid solar, and all we have to note so that the Colorado Energy Office knows is we're not going to be able to provide utility data on this person because they have off-grid solar. So as long as the Colorado Energy Office knows that's why, then we were fine with moving forward with working on that house. So
That's great. Thank you.
yeah. Also, another kind of stipulation for the weatherization assistance program, if that address, that same house, has received services through the weatherization assistance program anytime after 2008, they're not eligible to apply for the program. It's too soon for us to go, essentially it's too soon for us to go back to a house that we just worked on 15 years ago. As it reads here in the red, that is a rolling 15-year pre-weatherization date restriction. So next year, 2024, that date's gonna be pushed back to 2009. And then the year after that, it's 2010. That is a recent change as of a couple of years ago. It literally took an act of Congress for them to change the pre-weatherization date. Used to be 1994 for years.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're really grateful that the act of Congress pulled through and has agreed on a rolling pre-weatherization date, which makes sense, right?
Autumn has her hand raised. Autumn, go ahead.
I do have a question, because in the past 15 years, there are several people that, several products and the program itself has expanded to such an extent that things you said were even new this last year weren't available 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Is there any way to help those people who did not receive things that could be eligible, if not for the time frame?
Autumn, that's a great question. We actually are allowed, it's called a go back. I'm not sure, I think it's 5 years that we can go back to a home. So 5 years and sooner. I have to get back to you on that, but yes, there is, the Colorado Energy Office did recognize that fact that, hey, solar is fairly new. These air source heat pumps are fairly new. They did put some policy in place that does allow us to go back to homes that have had received services through the weatherization assistance program. I'm just not sure how far back we're allowed to go. So that's something that we can get back to this group on, or if y'all would call our 1-800 number, I can have some information ready for you. But the long answer, or the short answer is yes, I'm just not sure what that time restriction is.
This is for everybody that's on this Zoom meeting and in our audience. When you apply to Northwest COG for an application, you will have a good chance to talk with somebody in the office to answer, do I really qualify? Because there's a lot of ins and outs that you can't really go through on a presentation that you discover when you're talking to an applicant.
Mhm.
So even if you think, oh, I may not meet this criteria or that criteria, call and apply.
Yeah, I would just, if you have any, you're just not sure, just give us a call. I mean, like Sally said, every situation is different. Every home is different. We run into so many different scenarios all the time. And there's just, like I said, I'm throwing a lot of information your all's way, and there's even more to it. I'm just not getting into it.
Right.
So, there's a lot to it. So if you're like, gosh, I don't know, I might, but I don't think I do, just give us a call.
Yeah. And as you probably are aware, Jeannie, is when you get one set of information, you say, well, no, but over here, we have another answer that how we might make it fit.
Yeah.
So even if you think it might be, oh, maybe I don't meet these criteria, give them a try.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yeah, not eligible housing types.
Okay, that's as far as it's going on me here. Stopped.
What?
I don't know why it froze. Hold on. Your screen sharing. Hold on, folks. There it goes.
There we go. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
So the first program I was talking about is the Weatherization Assistance Program. If you don't qualify for that for either income reasons or your house was worked on recently through that program, we have another option for you called the Colorado's Affordable Residential Energy Program, also known as CARE. They provide basically the similar or same service as the last program. It's funded differently and the qualifications are different. Again, those automatic qualifiers I listed on the first page, LEAP, food stamps, social or yeah, you don't need to go back to it, but it's basically those same
Same list of criteria.
same list of criteria applies to this program. If you receive any of those, it's an automatic qualifier. Income wise though, if you don't receive financial assistance from any of those programs, the income level is 80% of the area median income. I can go into that in the next slide, which means it's a higher income threshold. But the other thing with this program is specifically because it's funded through utility rebates and private donations, you do have to have one of these participating utility companies, which in Clear Creek County, almost everybody has Excel. I don't know if I ran into anybody who doesn't, unless they are off grid. So that would be a deterrent for those folks. But as long as you qualify and have a participating utility company such as Xcel Energy or any of those, you'd be eligible for the program. So if you want to go to the next slide, we can see what that looks like. Clear Creek County, a household of 2, the income is now 79,440, or a household of 4, close to 100,000. And again, this is the same, it has to be gross income and income for all.
Those numbers are a lot higher.
They are. Yep. Yeah. And as you can see, they're different from every county. But that's what an area median income is. But that's what it is currently for Clear Creek. And those go up every year by $2,000 or $3,000. And I will say this, I really want to stress this. That's not a hard number. If someone is within $1,000 of that number, we're still going to approve them. Okay, so if someone's like, oh, I'm over $500 or I'm over $700, Energy Outreach Colorado, who administers the CARE program, has approved us to be a little bit more lenient on these income levels. It was $1,000, right? That's what so again, those are flexible.
Wow,
too.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, and just here's some more pictures of our awesome crew putting in some crawl space insulation, installing some windows. Those are furnaces, a refrigerator, kind of those items that I mentioned earlier and doing it.
What are they doing with the windows there, Emily?
Those, well, every situation is different and everybody wants new windows. Our main thing is storm windows. It's a case by case basis and I hate to, I have been told repeatedly by my director, we are not a window replacement service. And we do exactly what the Colorado Energy Office's system tells us to do. So typically we are storm window people,
Okay,
but like I said, every situation is different. So next, yeah.
we've got somebody in the
Are there
chat
any
here.
programs that serve our neighbors living in mobile? Yes, when you mean neighbors in Clear Creek County or surrounding other counties, but yeah, both of these programs work on mobile homes. In fact, it's probably 65% of the homes we work on are mobile homes
Huh.
in our 13 county territory. But if they meant neighbors, Grand, Summit and Park would be the closest neighboring counties that we work on mobile homes for. So,
A mobile home community talks to each other.
I know.
We get that.
And I love that. I honestly do. We work right now, not to get outside of Clear Creek County, but we're working in a mobile home park in Dotsero, which is in Eagle County. And the entire park is on a mass text string. And it's great. They'll come up to us and just point at the work we're doing and they'll say, hey, I want that. I want that. What do I have to do to get that?
It's contagious.
It is. A lot of questions we get, what if I move? If someone's applying for the program and they're planning on moving, we really can't. I know we definitely can't work on their home through the weatherization assistance program. Or a home that's currently up for sale or something like that. We can't work
Okay,
on, but say they apply for care this year, we get in there, we do some insulation and air sealing and stuff like that. And then, for one reason or the other, they end up having to move. The weatherization assistance program is available throughout the entire state. The care program is probably about 80% of the state available in terms of by county. They should apply again.
when they move to the next house.
When they move to the next, even if it's to the next house down the street, they can reapply. It's based off of the address, not the applicant.
Right,
So if they move once a year, they should reapply every single year.
so it's the house, not the applicant.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
I already kind of answered mostly landlord involvement. I'll field any questions if anybody has any more to that. And then I put Jean's contact information for how to send an application. So you can email, you can fax it, or you can drop it into the mail to our post office box in Silverthorne.
Okay,
And then,
one is freezing up again.
that's all right. That's the last one. I just had.
That's the last one.
So yeah, so LEAP, if anybody, a lot of the conversations we have with folks who call in to apply for the weatherization programs, they're doing the right thing. They're really setting themselves up for success with applying for our programs. Their very next thing should be to see if they qualify for LEAP. Again, it provides cash assistance for their heating bills. It also gets them automatically qualified for the weatherization assistance program and this awesome program called the Crisis Intervention Program. If certain requirements are met, not everything's certain, but it provides free repair or replacement of a non-working heating system within 24 to 48 hours of applying. So if someone, just to give them peace of mind, is worried about their furnace going out, LEAP would be a good program to apply for, because it gives them access to, we call it SIP. If it goes out, they can call the crisis heat line and they'll get a contractor out there within a day, 2 max, to either fix it or replace it with a brand new model.
Our Health and Human Services Department in Clear Creek County promote actively. And our website, our Clear Creek County website, also promotes LEAP actively.
Good.
And so we always say, go for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Way to go. So that's all I had, and I would. love to answer
Okay,
any
this
questions.
says you are eligible if someone in the household is a US citizen.
That,
And that's for care?
No, that's just for LEAP.
Oh, that's just for LEAP,
Yeah,
okay,
so it can be an adult, it can be a child, anybody in the household.
right. But the other programs that you talked about, the weatherization and the care,
Nobody needs to be documented.
you don't have to have anybody documented, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's for LEAP.
That's Neil, one of our inspectors at one of our clients' homes, and it's just my favorite picture ever.
Okay, so here's the Clear Creek Forum weatherization site. And it starts out with weatherization and energy. On our right, we have Clear Creek County Public Health and Department of Human Services and the Housing Coordinator. And with the CARE program, it opens up with incomes. And then on the right side of this forum site are all the applications for LEAP, Excel, weatherization program in English and in Spanish, the CARE program application and property owner waiver, and list of all the things that you can do with the CARE program. And over here are the brochures, other helpful documents on the right-hand side. There's the weatherization brochure flyer. And it takes a minute for it to load. And now I can't get into that. Start again.
Sorry, it might have been.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time loading it, but right here is the flyers on the right-hand side, the brochure for the weatherization program, the LEAP program, and the CARE program.
Perfect.
And the income on there. So that's all on the forum site for Clear Creek County.
Nice job.
Okay, folks, we've got one more in the chat. Oh, good. Thanks for the link to the application. It works.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're at the end. Emily, any last words?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. We really
Yes.
appreciate it. And hopefully we'll help out as many folks in Clear Creek County as we can, maybe more than ever. Right? So.
Okay, well,
Thanks.
thank you all. Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.